Thompson's in the driving seat here, but watch Seville on the near side. It's ever so close. Seville from Thompson. Lyles at last is beaten.
The sprinting world just witnessed a power shift. Under the lights of Tokyo, Oblique Seville didn't just win, he dominated the competition. Fans expected a battle, but what they got was pure destruction. Under the humid lights of Tokyo's National Stadium, Oblique Seville delivered a performance for the ages. The 24-year-old Jamaican sprinted to gold in the men's 100-meter final at the 2025 World Championships, leaving Noah Lyles and the rest of the field chasing shadows. It wasn't just a win, it was Jamaica's sprinting supremacy reborn. Since Usain Bolt's departure in 2017, no Jamaican male had stood atop the global podium in the 100 meters. For nearly a decade, American sprinters had claimed every world title in that event. Noah Lyles, the 2023 world champion and 2024 Olympic gold medalist, was expected to continue that streak. But Tokyo 2025 had other plans. Oblique Seville clocked a personal best of 9.77 seconds to win gold, while his countryman Usain Thompson followed closely at 9.82 for silver. Lyles, despite a season's best 9.89, had to settle for bronze. The sight of a Jamaican 1-2 finish, with Lyles trailing, sent shockwaves through the stadium and the world. Seville's rise has been anything but smooth. He narrowly missed out on medals in 2022 and 2023, finishing fourth each time. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, he ran the fastest semi-final time, but finished last in the final after injuring his hamstring. Budapest 2023 was especially painful. He ran 9.88 in the final, identical to the silver and bronze medalists, but was placed fourth based on thousandths of a second. But something changed in 2025, starting with a blistering 9.82 at the Racers Grand Prix in Kingston, where he beat Lyles head-to-head. Seville began to rewrite his narrative. He followed it with wins at Diamond League meets in London and Lausanne, both over Lyles, setting the tone for a potential upset in Tokyo. Despite a shaky start in Tokyo's opening round, where his 9.93 was only good enough for third in his heat, Seville regained form in the semifinals with a commanding 9.86. Meanwhile, Thompson and Lyles looked sharp too, Thompson clocking 9.85 and tying with Kenny Bednarek, and Lyles at 9.89. The atmosphere inside Tokyo's National Stadium was electric. The heat and humidity had turned it into a steam room, but the crowd's anticipation cut through the haze. Usain Bolt, the greatest sprinter of all time, was in the stands. Before the race, he had boldly predicted that the Jamaican duo would go 1-2. There's no reason they shouldn't be 1-2 because they're the top fastest times in the world this year, Bolt said. It's just about going out there and executing. I'm very confident they can get it done. As the athletes lined up, Noah Lyles raised his arms and roared like a prizefighter entering the ring. Beside him, Thompson bounced with excitement, but Seville stood calm, stone-faced, focused, waiting. At the gun, Thompson blasted out with his trademark lightning start, looking like a lock for gold by the halfway mark. Lyles, chasing hard, began to build his top-end speed, but Seville's stride never wavered. He didn't panic. Instead, in the final 30 meters, the portion he once struggled with, he surged. Seville overtook Thompson in the last 5 meters, and Lyles had no answer. He crossed the line in 9.77 seconds, a personal best, the fastest time in the world that year, and a stunning statement of intent. I learned from my mistake last year, Seville said afterward, referencing his Olympic final disappointment. This year I said, okay, this is my year, and I'm going to take this moment, and no one is going to take it away from me. The moment was his. I want to see Bolt, to have a word with him because he has told the world that I am going to be the champion, Seville told media. But everyone ignores what he said. Now I have proven, even in front of him, that I am the champion. Seville became the first Jamaican man since Bolt in 2015 to win the 100-meter world title. It was a moment more than 10 years in the making, and the symbolic weight of doing it in front of Bolt while being coached by Glenn Mills, the very coach who sculpted Bolt's career, was enormous. It was a pleasure to have Usain watching me, Seville said. His coach is my coach, and I know that both of them are very proud of me right now. They were telling me I was going to be the world champion, and I have proved in front of him that I am. Lyles, who came in as a favorite despite a late-season ankle injury, accepted his bronze with perspective. "It was a short season with injury, not a lot of races under my belt," he said. "But hey, every time I showed up here, I was running faster and better than I ever have. I was very excited with the things that I saw today." He later added, "Even in the final, I was able to run my season's best, and I will never be disappointed with that." Thompson, meanwhile, remained upbeat. The 24-year-old, who had gone undefeated all season and ran 9.75 earlier in the year, knew what he was up against. "I'm not really concerned about the time, it was more of the execution," he said. "Nevertheless, I finished injury-free, I got a medal, I'm grateful." About the final surge, he added with a grin, "I wanted to win." But when it came to the last 5 meters, I saw Oblique was moving, and then I was like, oh indeed. Seville stood atop the podium, Thompson beside him in silver, and Lyles rounding it out in bronze, marking a massive shift in sprinting momentum. Ajayi's 6th-place finish was historic. He became the first Nigerian man in 18 years to make a 100-meter final. The University of Auburn athlete ran a personal best 9.88 in the semis and 10.00 in the final, cementing himself as a rising star. But the night belonged to Seville. His victory had been years in the making. From early days at Calabar High School to international finals filled with frustration, he had waited, worked, and now he delivered. "For Paris, I got injured in the final and I fell short, but I learned from my mistake," he explained. "I have proved that I am a true competitor, that I have the determination of a champion." But still, I was panicking. "Finishing strong in the last 30 to 40 meters was something I was struggling with the whole season." He added, "But now I have perfected it. And I was confident that if I could do it in the final, I would win. Track and field is both mental and physical, but to be honest, I think I have mastered the mental part of it." This shift in mindset is what made the difference. Seville had always possessed speed, but now he had composure. His race was not just about pace, it was about poise. With this win, Seville joined the ranks of Jamaican sprinting royalty. From Donald Quarry and Asafa Powell to Johan Blake and Usain Bolt, Jamaica has a new sprint king. And he's only just getting started. He'll be back for the 200 meters. He'll anchor the 4x100 meters. And with every race, Seville isn't just challenging competitors, he's rewriting a legacy. Noah Lyles will have his shot at redemption in the 200-meter final, where he'll attempt to tie Bolt's record of 4 straight world titles. But in the 100 meters, the crown has changed hands. Oblique Seville didn't just win, he destroyed. And the gold is home.
Yeah.
My start is equivalent. It's very fast, and then my finish is equivalent to Noah Lyles' finish, so he's not going to catch me.
Oblique Seville just sent a powerful message to the sprinting world, and Noah Lyles is right in the middle of it. The Jamaican star isn't holding back anymore, making it clear that this rivalry goes far beyond speed. It's personal. It's about pride, redemption, and proving who truly owns the track. With his latest comments, Seville has turned up the heat on one of the most intense battles in modern sprinting. For years, fans have debated who would rise as the next sprint king after Usain Bolt's retirement in 2017. Noah Lyles made a strong case with his dominance in the 200 meters and his explosive gold medal win in the 100 meters at the Paris 2024 Olympics. But just a year later, at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, it was Oblique Seville who flipped the script and then dropped the mic.
Thompson's in the driving seat here, but watch Seville on the near side. It's ever so close. Seville from Thompson. Lyles at last.
In the biggest race of the year, Seville scorched the track with a personal best of 9.77 seconds to claim the gold in the men's 100 meters. Noah Lyles, the reigning Olympic champion, had to settle for bronze, finishing in 9.89. And Seville didn't just win. He made sure the world knew it was no fluke. In a post-race interview with Coach's Deck TV, Seville was asked about the growing rivalry with Lyles. His response was cold and calculated. "Noah Lyles is going too hard to beat me." If you check the analysis of the race, my start is very fast, and then my finish is the equivalent to Noah Lyles' finish, so he's not going to catch me. I analyze myself as an athlete, I don't study other athletes, but I know about this sport. That's the kind of talk we haven't heard since the Bolt era, and coming from a sprinter who's been quietly grinding in the shadows for years, it hit hard. Rewind to just a year earlier. At the 2024 Paris Olympics, Lyles was the one standing atop the podium after running a blazing 9.79 seconds. Seville, meanwhile, faded to 8th place with a time of 9.91. Afterward, Lyles took a subtle jab, saying Seville was panicking in the back during the heats. At that point, the gap between them seemed clear. But Seville remembered, and he was plotting his revenge. Fast forward to Tokyo. Seville had a shaky start in the heats, barely qualifying for the semifinals, but when it mattered most, he locked in. In the semifinals, he silenced critics by running a confident 9.86, putting a finger to his lips as if to say, "Sush, I am back." And when the finals came, he exploded. 9.77, gold. A new world-leading time. After the race, Seville opened up about his motivation. "When I saw what Lyles said, I was like, damn, Jesus Christ, I want him to be in my semifinals. I was praying for it. I was praying to get his semifinals because I was just going to show him something. I like the rivalry. You know that I like it. That's not just competition, it's personal." And while Seville was basking in the glow of his first global 100-meter title, Lyles remained gracious. He took to X to post, "I got nothing but the joy of the Lord in my heart. It has been a very challenging year. Being able to give my all on the race that meant the most is all I can ask for." Lyles went on to win the 200-meter final with a time of 19.52, securing his 4th straight world title in that event. But in the 100 meters, the balance has shifted. Oblique Seville, now 24, has quietly built a resume that demands respect. Coached by the legendary Glenn Mills at Racers Track Club, the same coach who molded Usain Bolt, Seville has been on a steady climb. He broke through in 2019 with golds at the Carifta Games and silver at the Pan Am U20 Championships. He made finals in both the 2022 and 2023 World Championships, finishing 4th both times. That back-to-back heartbreak in global finals might have broken some athletes, but for Seville, it was fuel. He trained harder, refined his mechanics, and came back stronger. In 2024, he dropped his 200-meter best to 19.96 in Atlanta and 20.13 in Miramar. He also won the Racers Grand Prix in Kingston, defeating Lyles with a then world-leading 9.82 seconds. Then came 2025, his breakout year. At the Jamaican Championships, he clocked 9.83 to finish 2nd behind Usain Thompson, showing his form was peaking. A month later at the London Athletics Meet, part of the Diamond League, Seville again bested Lyles and Letsail Tobogo with a 9.86 performance. That same dominance continued in Lausanne, where in wet conditions, he still managed to run 9.87, while the rest of the field couldn't even break 10 seconds. His performances weren't one-offs, they were proof of consistency under pressure. And while Lyles is known for his explosive top-end speed and charisma, Seville is the quiet storm, reserved, focused, and deadly accurate when the gun goes off. It's also worth noting that Seville's rise hasn't come easy. He had to overcome the COVID-19 disruption in 2020, then bounce back from early career injuries. His progression has been methodical. From Calabar High School to the world stage, he's always had the physical tools. What's changed is his mental edge. He's more confident, more tactical, and he no longer sees Lyles or any other competitor as unbeatable. In fact, Seville now relishes the challenge. So everyone knows that when I got into the semifinals, I said, if I get this good start, I know I can run it like 60% of the race and take it on from there easily. So I did that in the semifinals, he explained. That moment wasn't just about advancing. It was about sending a message. And send a message he did. Fans are already calling the Seville-Lyles dynamic the most exciting rivalry since Bolt and Gatlin. But this one has more parity. Lyles is a proven champion in the 200 meters, while Seville now rules the 100 meters. Their styles are different. Lyles thrives off showmanship and late-race surges. Seville is about execution, explosiveness, and quiet dominance. Beyond the rivalry, Seville's emergence is reigniting Jamaica's dominance in sprinting. After Bolt's retirement, there was a noticeable dip in Jamaican male sprinting, but with Seville's rise and Usain Thompson pushing him closely, the island nation is once again a powerhouse. This new wave of talent isn't just filling a void, it's redefining the sprint scene. Meanwhile, Lyles is still Lyles, hungry, charismatic, and supremely gifted. He continues to push boundaries and his mental toughness is second to none. But now, he faces a challenger who not only wants to beat him, but believes he already has the formula to keep doing it. What happens next is anyone's guess. The 2027 World Championships are shaping up to be another showdown, and the LA 2028 Olympics could be the decider in what's already a classic sprint rivalry. Will Lyles reclaim the 100-meter title, or will Seville continue his takeover? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. The era of one-man domination is over. We're now in the age of rivalry-fueled greatness, and at the center of it are two men pushing each other beyond their limits. Seville has dropped the bombshell. He's no longer chasing. He's leading. This is more than a sprint. It's a statement. And Oblique Seville has just made his loudest one yet. This 7-year-old kid has been breaking records everywhere, and everyone's been asking the same question. Where will we see him race next? Well, we finally have our answer, and it's going to be huge. Gout just told the world he's going to the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, and trust me, this is a big deal. But here's where it gets interesting. Everyone thought Gout would skip the Commonwealth Games. Why? Because the dates are tricky. The Commonwealth Games run from July 23rd to August 2nd in 2026, and right after that, from August 5th to 9th, there's the World Junior Championships in the United States. That's the big one for young athletes. That's where Usain Bolt made his name back in 2002. So people figured Gout would pick one. You can't do both, right? Wrong. Gout's manager, James Templeton, just dropped the news. He said, "We are planning that Gout will be available to run an event in Glasgow before going on to the World Juniors in Eugene. Gout will race the 100 meters at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Then he'll hop on a plane to the United States and run the 200 meters at the World Juniors. Two big races, two different countries, all in 1 week. That's insane. But that's Gout. Let me tell you a bit more about this kid because his story is pretty amazing. Gout was born in Ipswich, Australia. His parents came from South Sudan back in 2005 looking for a better life, and they found it. Gout grew up loving video games. He played Fortnite, Minecraft, and Zelda. He says he was a hard gamer before he was a track athlete, but somewhere along the way he found running, and he was really, really good at it. When he was just 14 years old, he ran the 100 meters in 10.57 seconds. That's crazy fast for a kid that young. People started paying attention. Then, last year at the World Under-20 Championships, he ran the 200 meters in 20.6 seconds. You know what's wild about that? That's faster than Usain Bolt ran when he was 15. Bolt ran 20.61. Gout beat him by 0.01 seconds. And it gets better. In December 2024, Gout broke an Australian record that had been standing since 1968. That's 56 years. The record belonged to Peter Norman, who got a silver medal at the Olympics. His time was 20.06 seconds. Gout ran 20.04 seconds. New record. But he wasn't done. This year, in June, he went to the Czech Republic for a race in a place called Ostrava, and he ran even faster. He clocked 20.02 seconds, another new Australian record, and get this, that time makes him the 6th fastest under-20 athlete in history. Let that sink in. 6th fastest ever for someone under 20 years old. People started calling him the next Usain Bolt. Videos of his races went viral, millions of views. Everyone wanted to know about this kid from Australia who runs like the wind. So when the World Athletics Championships came to Tokyo this year, everyone was excited. This would be Gout's first big race against the best runners in the world. Not just kids his age, the best of the best. Before the race, Gout did a big media day with Adidas. They're his sponsor. There were over 24 journalists there, TV crews, cameras everywhere. And Gout walked out looking a little nervous. He put his hand in his pocket and gave this awkward smile. The host even said, "It's a long walk," just to help him relax. But once he started talking, you could see why people love this kid. He's humble, he's funny, he's just a regular teenager who happens to be incredibly fast. He told everyone he still shares a room with his older brother. He said his favorite food is burgers. Well, first he said pizza, then changed his mind and said burgers. His favorite drink? Peach iced tea. When someone asked what irritates him, he couldn't think of anything. Finally, he just said, probably exams. Because yeah, he's still in school. He's in year 12. That's like being a senior in high school. He has big exams coming up.